Lila Wolf. I'm from New York City. I went to Alzar this past fall, and this is my CLP called the Ripple Stand. Every Sunday, the street that I live on, Columbus Avenue, it closes down to cars, and they call it open streets because the streets are just open completely to the public, and there are flea markets, there are like ping pong tables, clothing swaps, and a lot of families just outside enjoying the weather. And especially as the weather gets warmer, you'll see everyone holding like a fun drink of some sort, like whether it's an iced coffee or a nice like matcha or a lemonade. Like absolutely everyone is carrying something just to stay cool. So when I was thinking about my CLP, I really wanted to combine something like fun that I enjoy, like having a refreshing drink, with something that I felt could be really improved to my community. So although I've always had really good access to healthcare, whether it's like mental health or physical health, I've always had a plethora of resources at my disposal. That's really not the reality for a lot of New Yorkers, and they depend on a lot of free clinics and such that have unfortunately faced a lot of budget cuts in the past few months, and so they're not able to function on the same level that they were before, or serve as many people. And for a lot of people, this is actually the only sort of like clinic or doctor that they can afford to see. And so if they're not able to get a high level of care, or if they're not able to make an appointment, then they're really just lost. And a lot of these people, if they're suffering from whether it's like a mental health concern or a physical health concern, they're kind of just left out and they end up suffering because of it. So my plan would be that around once a month, I would open up a little stand, on the streets every Sunday called the Ripple Stand, because like it's like a ripple, like you're making a difference, that would sell kind of just like playful, fun drinks and maybe like pastries and such that would be fundraising for a different like clinic or a different like cause kind of like around our neighborhood, around New York, that kind of, needs some extra support. And even though this seems like a very like surface level kind of issue, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of just like a bake sale of sorts. Like I know my neighbors and I know that they actually are like very passionate about a lot of these things, but they feel like intimidated and like they can't really like make a difference. And so this would be a good way for, people to get their foot in the door and be able to, just like, even if it's just a little bit, like make a difference and really support these establishments that improve the lives of so many people. An example of like something that I would do would be like if I was trying to donate to like Planned Parenthood or like a women's like shelter or clinic or such, and so I kind of wanted to, like that was like the theme of sorts. I could do like a nice like lemonade with like a strawberry syrup and like like I've made pink macaroons before, something that like just like aligns kind of like with the theme. And so people would come and they would like buy a pastry, buy a drink, and they would be supporting a cause that they think is really valuable. My goal would be to sell probably around like 30 drinks each time, which seems kind of low. I would sell them for about $5 each, so it would be like $150 total. But I just kind of wanted to manage like what my expectations were, and I think that like if I do that and I meet my goal like really fast and like it's actually really successful, then I think maybe I would plan to do something larger in the future. But I kind of just want to like be able to scope that out. And I would also have like a tip jar and like a QR code for like Venmo and such, so that people could just like donate directly to these causes. Like maybe like they don't want a drink or like they don't want a pastry, but they're like, hey, like yeah, I'd love to support like like the homeless shelter that is like helping all of these people. Then they can kind of just go to that and be able to like make a donation and like still make a difference. Every Sunday, there's also this really, really popular flea market that's just a few blocks down from me, where like people will take the train just so they can like go to this flea market. So I think I would set up my stand right by there just to get the maximum amount of foot traffic. If there's one thing that Alzar really taught me, it's that like you should do what you love and you should be really proud of what you love and what you're passionate about. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for me to just like go out there. I love to cook, I love to bake, I love to just like create things, and so this would be a great way for me to like do something that I'm passionate about and be able to support a cause that I think is really, really important, and just put myself out there, just see if I can make a difference. So yeah.